Welcome back, friends. So excited. We just talked a lot about how we've all gotten started, where we were, where we are now, the incredibly tangible piece of storytelling, whether it's through a digital medium or if it's printed and seeing people see their stories. I think that that is something I will never get over, never tire of. Even you both talked about being on set too, and we're going to jump into some of that content creative development side. We've touched on being slow media. I know, Jenny, I didn't realize you guys were also biannual. We're biannual as well. And Reza, as you guys are going through this shift with this mastermind programming, I see the wheels turning. I'm excited to see more of that, honestly. I think getting started, I know for me, I grew up on Teen Vogue and 17, so it was like this monthly issue and just all the content that is regularly pushed out by like Cosmo and whatever else. And so I love getting to see these stories that are more intentionally told, because oftentimes I feel like as media, we run into the hurdle of being like, okay, we have a story to tell, we have a deadline, just put it together to the best of our ability and then it goes out. And I love hearing the way that we've, as media companies, taken this conscious step back to want to tell these stories in meaningful ways. And from submissions to curating, Reza, if you don't mind starting, because I know you're kind of in this development stage, what viewpoint do you have on content as you're looking at it from the strategic point of view?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm trying to figure out what would resonate with folks, especially as we do more with less. Like I'm going to keep that motto, Jenny, that you kind of mentioned earlier. I'm scared, honestly. Now I'm going to just talk about something. Side note: I'm scared that people aren't reading anymore long form content.
Mhm.
So because of that, I'm trying to figure out like what type of pieces people are interested in. I feel like maybe I need to have like a focus group with my own readers, but I'm like, are they, when we first started out Sustain the Mag, we were like the intro to sustainability, but now it's everywhere. You hear the word sustainability everywhere. Like even bigger corporations are talking about it. So it's like, what is next? Like, do we still need to focus on that? Or do we need to focus on more the deeper, bigger topics under that sustainability lens? So we do both, of course, but for instance, we try to create our long form content into short form videos to make it more accessible, because we're like, maybe people aren't reading our articles as much, but these are such great topics. Like one of them's on walkable cities, which I'm very passionate about. So then we want to create these videos for people to look at, because it seems like videos are just where it's at, unfortunately. So that's kind of the lens I think about, is like, how can our long form become a short form content? Unfortunately, it sucks to think that way, because same with you, I would also read, monthly Teen Vogues, Cosmos, all of that. And unfortunately, I don't think people do read as much. So hopefully that changes, I think. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking of it. And then on the nonprofit end, I just want to make sure everything's intentional, like what we're putting out there in terms of um, who we are highlighting on our platform as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, the way that video has become such a big player in just so much. I feel like before when you did video, it was like very standout. It's like, whoa, they have a
Yeah.
video. Like they're serious people. And now it's, if you don't have video, then you're like almost like
Yeah.
forgotten about. And Reza, that's so funny that you say that about the long form, short form debacle. That's something that we were just talking about in the office not too long ago, because it's like you want to have this space where people can take up space and be able to share what they want to share. And so I know for us, we're trying to find ways to use video to allow more space for that. And as you were saying that, I was like, I'm thinking about the different like New York Times articles or whatever, because I know I read things and I'm like intaking content. And then so that makes me really think hard about like, well, how am I intaking it? And I know podcasts have been big. So I'm like, I'm a podcast gal now, and I never thought I'd be that. But even with social media, I love the snippets, because I think there's something key about the short form that helps people learn about a topic or learn that there's something to read more about. And so I feel like maybe it's the era of read more. Like you get them in with
Mhm.
like this is the topic, this is what's going on, here's some bite-sized things, and then if
Mhm.
you want more information, you can do a deep dive on it in these different ways. I'm even thinking about how Netflix is doing like so many limited series now about these different topics and different conversations that are going on. Jenny, what has it been like on your end? I know you kind of talked about it a little bit, but even as you're curating content and like
Mhm.
taking in, because you said so many submissions, like how are you using all these different media forms and to help determine different things?